Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Peralivas, and that rhymes with For All of Us, and I'm the People's Party candidate for the Guelph riding for the October federal election on the 21st. I hope you vote for me. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about Steve Dick and Elizabeth May and what Elizabeth May would do if she won a seat. I've talked before about the failures of the Liberals, and a lot of people that I speak with, because I've been out talking to people and knocking on doors, a lot of people I speak with would like a change from the Liberals. And I want to point this out to people. So here's Steve Dick, and Steve Dick ignores me on Twitter. He was talking to me the other week because I like to debate and discuss things with people because I find that interesting. And Mr. Dick has put his hat in the ring to represent Guelph, and so I try and speak with him on Twitter publicly, so you can read it too, and he's started to ignore me. So that's okay. Steve can ignore me. That's fine, but I'm going to tell you what's happening. So Steve tweeted, quote, "Great analysis by @David Aiken. Voters want policies that will deliver on honest climate solutions. At the door in Guelph, I'm hearing voters want to do the right thing. I say vote with your heart. Science has your back." Sure, whatever. And the analysis is, and I said, "Steve, your leader said she would prop up a Liberal government if Scheer won the most seats. If you want more of the same, vote Green. Sorry, everyone, that's the truth. On the other hand, if you want something different, vote People's Party of Canada." And I linked to an article, and we're going to look at that article in just a second, but I want to look at the article that's talking about the analysis here. And the analysis is from Global News, and it says, "May's Greens a greater threat than the NDP to Trudeau's Liberals' re-election chances. Vote Green and we'll oust that Trudeau guy." Except that Miss May has already pledged her balance of power seats to Trudeau. She says she doesn't want to allow Mr. Scheer to be able to govern. So if there's a minority government, Miss May would pledge her seats to Trudeau to topple Mr. Scheer's minority. Listen, I'm not making this up. Links in the description. The time index is 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Here we go.
Do you think if the Conservatives actually win more seats, that the Liberals should try to form a coalition with you or the New Democrats?
Of course, because it means more votes went to people and parties and ideas that are probably not represented in the Conservative Party.
But if the Liberals, as the government, they get a first crack at trying to form government, if the Tories have more seats, should the Liberals try to form some sort of working coalition with you and or the New Democrats?
As a hypothetical, when you have a minority parliament, it's a hung parliament. Yeah. Nobody's won. And the way that our Westminster parliamentary system works is, yes, of course, any party that has been in power has the absolute right to try to form government and convince the Governor General that they can hold the confidence of the House. You can't do that without talking to each other and figuring out, what do we have in common here? With whom do we have the most in common? How do we make this work so the people of Canada feel that the way they cast their votes has resulted in the parliament they want?
Would you make electoral reform a condition of...
I'll leave it there. Sorry, I clicked the button wrong. I'll leave it there, but let's listen to what Mr. Trudeau is going to do with carbon tax and carbon and oil and gas. Here we go.
On reducing our carbon emissions. Now, we're not going to be able to eliminate oil and gas anytime soon. Our economy is significantly reliant on that. Yes, we're investing in renewables, we're investing in wind, we're investing in solar, we're looking at all sorts of different alternatives, but for the foreseeable future, we will continue to require oil and gas. We are phasing out coal, which is a big step.
You can see the rest of that link, and link is in the description. But I wanted to be clear, Mr. Trudeau acknowledges the necessity for Canada to continue to develop its natural resources and get those resources to market. It is necessary for our economy. So Ms. May has pledged her seats in a balance of power, in a hypothetical balance of power situation, to Mr. Trudeau, saying that yes, of course, the party in power has the right to try and have the confidence of the House. And that's true. We saw this in New Brunswick just this past year. There was a very close election, and the seated and defeated Liberals, who had technically less seats, but because it was a minority government, nobody had a majority of seats, they got first crack at forming government. And that failed, but they had to wait until the House. So the election, I think, was in May, and they had to wait until the House sat, and that didn't happen until the following like September, and it was late. So or maybe it wasn't late. Maybe it's like the 10th or 12th. Maybe the 16th stands out, but I'm just going crazy here. My point is, Miss May is all for throwing her power behind Mr. Trudeau, the balance of power behind Mr. Trudeau to prevent a Scheer prime ministership. And that's concerning if you care about the environment, because Mr. Trudeau is very clear that he's going to continue to do what Miss May has pledged to stop. So that's very interesting for her to do that. And it's a very robust interview. I encourage you to go listen to it. She talks for almost a full minute before I started using the clip about her feelings on the parliamentary system, etc. So I don't want to misrepresent what she's saying, but I wanted to be clear. That is what she's saying. She's saying that she would prevent a Scheer minority with voting with Mr. Trudeau in order to prevent a Scheer minority. So is that what you want? If that's what you want, then feel confident in your vote for a Green or a Liberal, because it's the same. Here's Justin Trudeau yesterday, glad handing in Edmonton on the pipelines for the Trans Mountain. This is the same announcement he's already made in Ontario. So it's interesting to watch the politicking and the use of the government's money to move Prime Minister Trudeau around. And like, this isn't the campaign paying for this. This isn't the party paying for this. This is taxpayer dollars paying for this. Campaigning away. Interesting stuff. But the main thrust of this video is really a vote for Miss May is a vote to continue the leadership that we've seen for the last 4 years. The failed, disastrous leadership we've seen for the last 4 years. Thanks for watching, everybody. My name is Mark Per All of Us. That rhymes with For All of Us. And I'm the People's Party candidate for the Guelph riding. I hope you vote for me. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.